Pretty simple question here. Yeah, so David would like to know, so if a trade isn't profitable within 5 bars, can BlackBird close it on the close of the 5th bar? So yes, we can. Let's just set something up here. So let's do a market entry. So yeah, in order to close a trade, you will need either a profit target or a stop loss, right? So I'll build this rule into a stop loss. So that's going to be right the typical way that you would do this, right? Use your stop loss to kind of also, you know, close out a trade if some other kind of condition is not met. So so I just used a simple, you know, 10 tick stop loss just to get started here. But the answer to the question is you need to go into the trailing actions, and we're going to enable this, set it to custom, add a trailing rule here, and let's see. There we go. So we're going to flatten if no profit within 5 bars. All right. Really, the key to this question here is setting up the triggers the way that we want them here. So we're going to go to the advanced tab here because we're going to need multiple trigger rules here. So the first one we're going to need, let's see, so we're going to want all in any order. Yeah, the order's not going to matter here. Yeah, the order's not going to matter here. So the first thing we want is a delay. So we want to be able to count 5 bars. All right, so we want to wait until we get to the 5th bar before, you know, we analyze, you know, whether the trade is profitable or not. All right, so let's get this back open. So there we go. So the first trigger that we want is the delay, and the second one is going to be the profit or loss. All right, so the profit or loss, let's see here. I guess, yeah, we'll leave it on loss, and then, you know, what's going to be more universal is instead of using currency, right, because each instrument has a different tick value, we'll just put this on tick, and we'll set the minimum to, there we go, 1 tick. So if the trade has a loss of 1 tick, right, then that's a loss. So there we go. So, and then the action, so the second part, really the kind of the key to this is really just trigger. So the action is the second part here. And so we don't want to move the order, we want to flatten the position. So there you go. Set the action to flatten the position based on the triggers, right? Based on these trigger conditions. So, and there we go. Here, let me, all right, I'm going to push that stop loss way out there, and we can test this out. So, all right, let's click OK. And let's see, I will move the trend up, and let's take a short trade. So there you go. Trade was opened on that bar. Now we just have to patiently wait. All right, I'll see if I can get some of these bars to close a little faster here. And there you go, closed out. So, kind of the key, one of the things that you got to consider here is, you know, when you're counting bars, you know, it depends on how you decide to count bars, because BlackBird always includes the signal bar, right? So even though I manually executed, a trade in the middle of the bar, right, while the bar was building in the middle of it, BlackBird includes, right, the entry bar. So we can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 bars when the 5th bar closed. Then when the 6th bar opens, right, it closes out. Yeah, some other things to consider is analyzing the mode for the triggers here. So I set it to all in any order. So the all in any order means that after our fifth bar goes by, then if there is ever a loss, right, because basically the delay, once the 5th bar goes by, then that the delay condition has been met. So on the 5th bar, the delay is true, and it's always going to be true because we've gotten to that 5th bar. So now BlackBird is just waiting for the profit or loss trigger condition to become true, right? So if there's ever a loss, basically ever a drawdown, after the 5th bar, then basically the delay is true, and the profit or loss condition, right, that trigger condition becomes true as well as soon as there is a 1-tick loss anytime. So anytime after the 5th bar, these two trigger conditions can become true, and the position will be flattened anytime after the 5th bar. So if you only want to monitor the 5th bar only, if you want to limit this rule to say on the 5th bar only, check the profit or loss, and only close on the 5th bar. Let's see here. I don't think. Yeah, there is no way currently. There's no trigger condition currently that says only do this on the 5th bar. Yeah, so right now it's really a matter of the delay mechanism here, the delay trigger. It's looking for the 5th bar or after. Let's see. Yeah, that's not going to matter either. So yeah, so if you only want to do something on the 5th bar, that's not possible yet. But we will be making further enhancements to the delay trigger rule. So actually, it's gonna be renamed from delay to something else because the enhancements no longer make it a delay. It's gonna have other conditions, other possible conditions as well. So yeah, so the delay trigger is going to get renamed when it gets enhanced. But yeah, with those enhancements, we'll be able to say, okay, only do something, only monitor for something on the 5th bar or something like that. We can do that. So for now, just keep in mind that after the 5th bar, that if there's ever a loss after the 5th bar, that will trigger, closing out the trade. So that'll trigger flattening the trade.